Hi there, I'm Natasha. This is my channel, Always Be Crafting. Today's my birthday. I'm 50. 50. It happened. I woke up and there it was. It's my birthday. Gonna party like it's my birthday. That's terrible. Okay, so I thought the thing I wanted to do this morning before I do anything else, before I get ready for my day, before I go out to lunch with my friends or have dinner with my family, I really want to talk about the amazing trip I just got home from. I've been talking about it all summer, that I was going to England, that I was going to go to the Festival of Quilts, that I was going to go to Liberty of London, which I have been dreaming of. I did it. I did it. And it was wonderful. I met amazing people along the way, and I had a fantastic time. So, a little history. If you're new here, welcome. Sometimes I shower before I come on camera, but don't count on it. This is who I am. Welcome. I like to film myself and talk to you about all the things I love to craft here in my basement craft room. As you can see, this is the sewing center where I have my camera. Back over there, you can actually see the back of my sublimation printer. And beyond that is all the cricketing stuff. So I do other crafts, but mostly I do sew. Sewing is probably the number one craft I get up to. But yeah, I do a lot of other crafting with work. And yeah, that's it. That's my introduction. Welcome. So like I said, I'm 50. So 1 year ago, I was watching the UBTubies. I was watching the YouTubes, and I was watching an interview with Chris English at the Festival of Quilts. Now, it might have been his talking with Kate at the Last Homely House. I'm not positive. It might have been another channel, but it might have been him talking to Kate at the Last Homely House, because I love her channel. And he was talking about the quilt he had at the Festival of Quilts, which featured some quilt blocks that were made by people he did not know. A friend of his in California, I believe, had sent him quilt blocks that she had found, I believe, at a thrift store of some sort. And they had been blocks that had been signed. So these people were not anonymous. They had signed their blocks, but they were people that were unknown to Chris and possibly unknown to his friend. And he incorporated these blocks into his quilt. And Chris English, if you don't know, follow him. I believe his Instagram, I'll put it on the screen, is A Full English. So at A Full English, like a full English breakfast is, I think, the joke there. And he's an inspirational maker out here in the world of makers. And I've been following him for a long time, for a few years now. But when he incorporated those blocks, there was like a light bulb moment for me, because even though I've been watching lots of makers over the years incorporate found objects, upcycling, reusing other people's hand-me-downs or cast aside items, I hadn't really thought about using someone else's blocks in that way. And I remembered that in my mom's box of blocks. Now, my mom passed away now 16 years ago. So last year it would have been 15 years ago, obviously. And I had a large box of blocks, quilt blocks, that were left behind by her. And in that box of blocks, and there were baggies within the box, there were some random blocks that had been signed by members of her quilt guild. And I'm guessing they were exchanging blocks because they were doing maybe friendship quilts. So other blocks that had been signed by other members. So blocks that were not hers. And I remembered this because I didn't know what to do with those. But anyways, remembering that my mom had blocks that had signatures on them, remembering, kind of thinking about Chris's quilt, and remembering my mom's box of blocks, the light bulb went off, and I thought, oh, wait, why don't I just make a quilt out of my mom's quilt blocks? Which, how it is, those dominoes. One thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. The next light bulb that got triggered was my mom always wanted to go to the Festival of Quilts. The Festival of Quilts started a little over 20 years ago. And so it was a new thing before my mom passed away. And before my mom passed away, she and my dad were driving all over the country, going to different quilt shows. Like, they were enjoying motorhoming around the country in their retirement. That's what they were doing. And my dad refused to ever fly again because his work had him travel all over the world. And I do mean all over the world. My parents lived in multiple countries, especially once I graduated high school. Like, I think they left the country within 2 months, like dropped me off at college and got on a plane and flew to India for 2 years kind of thing. They were constantly traveling, and that's just what my dad's work required of him. So once they retired, he said, I never want to set foot on an airplane ever again. But due to my mom's health, she really could not travel alone. So we kept saying that when she heard about the Festival of Quilts, she said, I want to go there. Tashi, will you go with me? And I was like, absolutely. But 20 years ago, I was having babies. Like, my oldest son is 20 years old. My youngest son is 17 years old. So I was like, let me just finish having babies, Mom. Like, let me get through this whole like early motherhood thing, and then we'll go on. Like, let me get my babies all set up, and then we'll go. Obviously, that didn't happen because my mom died. My youngest wasn't even a year old. Cancer came in. It came in quick. So we never got to go to the Festival of Quilts together. And that was something, it wasn't like the biggest regret. Obviously, there's a lot of other regrets that were bigger, but it was sort of like nagging me in the back of my head. So once I realized that the Festival of Quilts in England was a non-juried show, which means every quilt that gets submitted to the Festival of Quilts gets hung. Every single quilt. Does not matter how good it is. Does not matter if your quilting lines are straight. Does not matter if your quilt itself is even square. I mean, it can be as wonky as all get out. It is a non-juried show. Every quilt submitted gets hung. So the pressure was off. It did not matter how good my quilt would be. It would be hung at the Festival of Quilts. So I knew if I made a quilt, it would be there. So all of a sudden, I could do it. I could make a quilt out of my mom's quilt blocks, and I could send them to the Festival of Quilts. That became my goal. So August is my birthday. Hello, it's my birthday right now. So last year I told my husband, that's what I want to do for my 50th. I was turning 49, obviously, last year, and I'm watching these videos of the Festival of Quilts, and I'm hearing Chris English's story, and all these light bulbs are sparking inside my brain, and I turned to my husband, I said, that's what I want to do next year. For my big birthday, I want us to take a family trip. I want us to go to the Festival of Quilts together as a family, because I'm going to hang a quilt with my mom's quilt blocks in the Festival of Quilts, and that's where I want to go. And I want us to go as a family trip. That's what I want. That's what I want for my 50th. And since we're going to be in England, I want to go to Liberty of London. Those are the two things I want to do. Festival of Quilts, Liberty of London. The rest of the trip can be whatever you people want. Whatever you want. We can do Stonehenge. We can go to the sea. We can go up to Scotland. I don't care. Whatever you people want. That's all I want for my birthday. And then I could tell that my husband and my children were not on board. And it was pretty obvious right away, because all of a sudden my husband started coming back with, well, what if we went in November or October or on the kids' break in February? And I'm looking at him like, what don't you understand? The festival is in August. I want to go to the festival. What are you not understanding? What about what I want for my birthday are you not comprehending? And, he's like, well, it's not really me that doesn't want to go. It's the kids. They don't want to go. They don't think it's a good idea. And I'm like, all right. It was pretty obvious pretty quick that nobody was interested. I think that my kids were like, go to a quilt show? Ew. And my husband was just like, oh, this is too much work. I can't think about it. I love my husband. He is like one of the most fantastic people, but I really don't think he can I don't think he could wrap his head around what I was asking of him. Now I think he understands, but a year ago, I really don't think he could wrap his head around what I was asking of him. And that's on me. I don't think I communicated it clearly enough, even though I thought I did. Obviously, he didn't get it. So I digress. By February, I realized that my family was not on board and I needed to find a different way to make my dream come true. So I joined up with a tour group and I went to the Festival of Quilts. I made sure the tour group was going to the Liberty of London. Like, that's what I made sure of, because I was getting my birthday and I said, hey, this is my birthday. I'm leaving all you fools behind. I'm going without you. So since it's my birthday, I am not getting a roommate. I am getting a single room. Like, we're upgrading my trip so I don't have to have a roommate because it's my birthday. I don't want to have a stranger in my bedroom. And I'm flying business class because it's my birthday and it's a big birthday. So I was being a little bit of a pretty princess about the whole thing. I'm going to admit it. But I figured we weren't flying a family of 4 across the ocean. We were flying just one person. So I was saving money, right? That's the way I looked at it. Anyways, I'm telling you about the business class because that came in handy later on, and you'll see why. So do you want to see all the stuff I bought? I thought I was actually very good. I thought I showed some restraint on this trip because it was my birthday. It was my big birthday. There's a whole other video about the quilt I made, and I will link it up here in the cards. I think it's over there. I will link the video of the quilt that I made for the festival. I'm very proud of it. It was chaos, utter chaos, trying to make the quilt in the middle of everything else. The video is a little bit more than an hour. I cut it down as much as I could. As you can tell, I'm a talker. I talk a lot. So there's some talking, but let's move on. The Festival of Quilts. Well, I got there bright and early because I'd signed up for the festival. I think the doors opened. Did the doors open at 10? They may have opened at 10. And I had a 10:30 class. So I was like in line day one to go in and get in. And the first thing I wanted to do was I had pre-ordered the goodie bag, which included a tote bag. Da-da-da. And I had planned that I was only going to fill one tote bag. Like, if it didn't fit in the tote bag, I was not buying it. Like, that was it. And I came pretty close to doing that. Everything pretty much fit in just the tote bag as far as my purchases at the Festival of Quilts. Inside the tote bag, also, the goodie bag came a fan. Look, I haven't even opened the fan. I mean, they had one on display, so I knew what it looked like, but I have not opened mine. Shall we open it together? Where's the part of the plastic? Okay, Editing Natasha cut this part out. Okay, hopefully Editing Natasha has let me come back because I've gotten rid of the annoying plastic. Here we go. Shall we see it together? Isn't that beautiful? I thought that was really, really beautiful. So that's the fan. I thought that would look really beautiful hung on my wall somewhere. Somewhere down here, I'm going to hang it. I love fans. I really, really love fans, and I thought that was a beautiful keepsake. So that's the fan. And what else did it come with? Oh, it came with the book, of course. It came with the details and the guide. So, like the competition catalog. So it includes everyone's story of every single quilt. So it's just stories. It's not pictures. I was hoping it'd be pictures because we all had to submit a picture of our quilt. So I thought, oh, great, my quilt's going to have a photo. So I'm not really sure why we had to submit pictures since the pictures aren't in the book. Maybe the pictures are online of our quilts. I'm not sure because this is just words, but it at least has the story of my mom and her quilts in the book. So that's nice. And then the show guide, which is just like the classes and the sponsors and stuff. So those came in it. I realized fairly early upon arriving that they are very big on refillable water bottles over in England, which is awesome. But I had forgotten my refillable water bottle in packing. So I also splurged and bought a refillable water bottle. It does not keep water as cold as I would like, even though it is some kind of metal, or it feels like plastic, but it also feels like metal. It's very odd. It's a very odd, it's aluminum, I think. It doesn't keep things as cold. Yes, it's aluminum. Plastic coated aluminum, I guess. I would like things to stay a little colder, but that's fine. It's nice. It was nice to have, and no regrets. No regrets on buying that. So that was my first purchase, and then I went to my first class. Went straight back to the classroom, and I took a class on Borromean. I'm not sure the pronunciation. Rings with Louise Mabs, and basically this is a ring. Borromean ring. Now, what we did is we filled these white tubes with batting like this. And so one is obviously not done. So I still have batting. It was impossible to do all three in class. So you can still see I have batting and a tube that hasn't been filled yet. So I still have one tube and batting. And then she taught us how, we have the instructions on how you wrap them and then you do like a running stitch. So they're just wrapped with scraps of fabric and then a running stitch is done. And then we're just going to basically sew them into knots. So the 3 rings will be done in a knot. And that's the Borromean, however it's pronounced, rings. So 3-dimensional rings. It was at first a little weird, and then it became like really, really relaxing. Like once we got to the part after the tubes were stuffed, which was a little like hard on the hands. But once you stuffed the rings and we were doing the running stitch, It was really relaxing. It was only like a 1-hour class, so I think there was no way we were going to get them completely done. I thought I'd work on it back in my room, but honestly, it was so much go, go, go the entire trip that once I was back in my room, I never did any hand sewing because I was always just like, write in my journal, go to sleep. Like, I was dead. I was so tired because most of my days were just spent out with people, walking around, going the whole time. My next class, which was like right away, I had like maybe a 10-minute break or something between classes, was with Chris English because I figured it's all his fault. I went to England, or I did this whole thing in the first place, so I should take a class with him. And he did Christmas baubles with fabric. So his class was just gluing fabric. It was basically decoupage, but it was really lovely. And it was really, what he was talking about really had more to do with the process of how you choose fabric and, gluing little pieces of fabric to Christmas baubles. So this was the second one I started. So you can see I didn't get it finished, but these little teeny tiny pieces of fabric. The first one was bigger. I'm trying to I kept all my little scraps of fabric. So I'm trying to move those out of the way without making too much of a mess while I unearth my bigger one. It's here in the cup. And they do come out really, really beautiful. I will say that the sequins didn't really stay on. The sequins came off. I think I might go back and hot glue or just go after most of the sequins and try to glue those back on because most of those fell off. But they are really, really pretty. The idea, it wasn't a new idea at all. I just wanted to take the class, not because I was learning something specifically new. I've done decoupage with fabric before, but I thought, you know what? It might be fun just to meet Chris English. And so I could tell him the story that he inspired me with his quilt to come and make a quilt for the festival. I wanted to tell him that. And also I thought it just might be fun. And it was. And I actually met some really nice people in the class. I had met a woman in line that morning from Canada. Her name was Ursula. And she and I hit it off right away, just standing in line, waiting to get into the Festival of Quilts. She had been signed up for that class as well. So even though we had separated for our first class, we came back together for that class. We hit it off. We ate lunch together afterwards. She's the one who actually took a photo of me standing in front of my quilt right after our Chris English class. So I'll put that in here so you can see afterwards. And another woman from the class, as I was telling the story, she wanted to come see the quilt. I didn't get her name, but she was really, really nice. And she's like, this is a lovely story. I want to see it. And I'd met up with her later in the day. We were walking past each other. She's like, oh, it's great to see you again. And that's what I love about meeting people. You don't make these friendships forever. You just sort of make these connections, even for a few minutes or for a few hours, and people can just come together and be like, I'm going to share space with you for a short time, and we're going to get along and just enjoy each other's company. And it doesn't have to be a lifelong friendship. It can just be for now. And it was wonderful. Share a meal together, share some stories together, and then wish each other well as we part and go on our merry way. And it was wonderful. But I had a lovely time with Ursula, and she was going off to do Scottish dance. After the festival, that's where she was heading to next. And we really clicked because both of us were really interested in doing lots of classes, which a number of people in my tour group were not taking classes. And I'm like, why are you here? You're at the Festival of Quilts and you're just walking around shopping. It's nice, but why are you here? I'm here to take classes and go to lectures and stuff. But everyone had a great time. And I think everyone did. Everyone did what they wanted to do. And that's the other thing. At the Festival of Quilts, all those classes and lectures aren't free. And I think sometimes when you go to a convention, you expect free classes, and these were additional things to pay for. So, there's that. But they were worth it, in my opinion. I was happy to pay that supplemental charge to take those classes. They were well worth it for me. So those were the first 2 classes I took. And then I had lunch with Ursula. And then I attended I'm calling it a lecture, but it was just more informal than a lecture. It was her name was Sarah Impey, and she's a fantastic quilter. The topic was writing with string, I think was the name of the topic. And all her quilts, she does word quilts where her quilting is often done with, she sews words into everything. She started as a journalist, she's a writer, and she now uses her quilts as a canvas for what she has to say. And she had a gallery there at the quilt, at the expo. And so she was talking about the quilts she had hanging, and she also had a book, and I had to get it because it was amazing. So it wasn't really like teaching us how to do it, but she did talk about how she taught herself to do it, how she did it initially with templates. You know, she would like cut out little pieces of paper and stick it on to like trace out words. And so she's like kind of block letters to begin with, and then over time how that changed. And so like that was these. She started out doing grids early on, but over time she felt that limiting, and just how that changed over time. Like, so now things are very different. To kind of give you an example and where those words can go and what she does. And I just found it, you know, she still does plan out space. You know, she gives herself lines to a certain degree, but she just does so many beautiful things with words. And like, I was blown away and really inspired. It gave me so many ideas of what I want to do with it. Like, I wanted to go home and this is a picture of her with her work. She was a great storyteller. Like, she was a really, really great storyteller. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. She signed the book for me because I'm like, please, I would so love. Here's a picture of her sewing at her Bernina. It's a great picture. So it's all freehand, or not freehand, free motion quilting, because she goes back and forth and back and forth. You know, it's all, you know, capital letters. I love this style. It reminds me so much of what we do in like Zentangle to a certain degree with like the lines, but then she fills it in with words because she's just got a lot to say. And sometimes I feel like I've got a lot to say. Actually, the quilt that I want to do for when I am the quilt bee queen for my Craftivist quilt, which will be in September, I'm the bee queen, and I'm doing a word quilt for my quilt bee queen moment. And it's just one word. Everyone gets to pick whatever word they want, whatever alphabet, whatever language, whatever. They get to pick a word for the middle of it. And I think I'm going to do some examples of my block to show people what I'm thinking about. And I'm really inspired by Sarah's work. So that was great. And then I attended a second lecture, and can I find her card? She was a archaeologist. Her name is escaping me because I've just been talking about Sarah's work right now, but give me a second. She was amazing. Jillian Cooper. Oh my gosh. She was fantastic. And her lecture was all about, do you think archaeology? What? And she was like, she's a textile artist who did a lot of work in archaeology because like modern archaeology, how does it tell the story in textiles about where you are and what's happening where you are? So she uses like the items in an area to dye fabric. So like the plants, the metals, etc., to dye the fabric, and then cuts up the fabric to tell the story of the area. So it's like really, really deep talking. And then, you know, yeah, oh my gosh, it's fantastic. And she teaches classes online as well. I'm thinking I might have to take some of her stuff. So jilliancooperstudio.co.uk is her thing. I think there's like a QR code you could scan there as well. But again, another fantastic storyteller. Really, really, really enjoyed her stuff. So I just had like 2 great inspiring lectures at the end of the day. And that was the end of day 1. Like, I was there till the end, like the day closed at 5:30, and I think Jillian's talk ended at 5. So day 1. Oh, between I think Sarah's talk and Jillian's talk, I had enough time to go out on the floor and do some shopping. And I did do a little shopping day 1. And that was the Indian Block Print Company. This was something I've had my eye on. Pardon me. I've had my eye on for a while. I have wanted to do some block printing. I love block printing. I love printing, screen printing, and I've done it in multiple capacities. And I've had my eye on doing some block printing for a little while. And I know it's a company, and I said I was only going to buy things from makers on this trip. Like, that was my rule. I wasn't going to buy anything from a company, and this is technically breaking that rule because it's buying something from a company, but it's a smaller company, not like a big giant conglomerate. So I think I'm okay. I think, and this is not something I have been able to find locally here. It's something I've seen other makers talk about in England, but I have not seen at any of my local shows. So I guess I have that going for it. Anyways, I got a whole kit from the Indian block print company. So it includes like a blank tote bag, and the block, the blocks I chose and the colors I chose. I got 4 colors. Let's see, it's gonna make a lot of noise. Let's see. I'll try to edit out any noise and rustling, so I can show you everything. And I think if you're a regular watcher, you'll go, oh yeah, that looks like you. And if you're new, you'll get an idea of who I am as a person. First bag. My colors are kiwi green, purple, just purple, raspberry, and turquoise blue. Rustle again. My stamps. How can I go to England and not get a teapot, right? And then to go with my teapot, hold on, I think I got a teacup. Did I get a teacup? No. Yes, I did. I got a teacup. So I got a teapot and a teacup. And then needle and thread, because hello. Handmade with love. I thought that's I could make my own tags to put in things. You know I'm a music teacher. How can you say no to a little hippie van? And lastly, I love me some bunting. I love bunting. I love bunting. I have bunting in my logo. I mean, it's not triangle bunting, but I have bunting in my logo. I love bunting. All right, so that was my first purchase. Clean up my mess over here. Okay, day 1. Day 2 at the Quilt Festival. And then I went out to dinner with friends, had a lovely night. Finally got to try Nando's. Nando's is like this very famous British kind of fast casual food. So good. So good. Why don't we have Nando's over here? We need Nando's in the States. Bring us Nando's. Okay. Day 2, I only had signed up for 2 things, 1 lecture, 1 class. And so I started the day a little slower, a little later. I slept in a little bit, didn't take the early bus. And went over and did some shopping. Wanted to look at the quilts a little bit more closely because day 1 was a lot of run. So I walked around, looked at quilts, looked around the shopping stalls. I was only looking for things that I could not find in the States. Tried to only shop from small vendors that I could not find in the States. I purchased, I should not buy any more webbing. I couldn't help myself. These were webbings that I've never, I wish we had more webbing. Sorry, my nose is so itchy. My allergies are crazy. My skin is crazy. It is what it is. They were like 2 for $9 or 2 for $7. The price, it was fantastic pricing on these. All right. I got rainbow, and they're 2 meter lengths. So that's a little bit more than 2 yards. Rainbow. Look at this. That's beautiful. And they are 3.8 centimeters. I think that's like 1.5 inches. Look at this. Gorgeous. One more. How could I not get these 4 webbings? They're just gorgeous. Gorgeous. So I got those webbings. Oh, I almost missed. I got a pin, a quilt, Festival of Quilts pin. I'm going to put it up on my pin board. Okay. Let's see. What else? Okay, then I walked by someone giving a lecture about these Vive les Femmes patch fabric.co. Okay, Vive les Femmes. I just thought that was adorable, so I followed her back to her booth, and I bought one because she was adorable. The person who was giving her, because this is her pattern, and I bought one of her patterns. Eliza, look at that. And I was like, okay. And the whole idea is to use scraps of fabric. And I'm like, I have scraps of fabric at home, but sell me one of your scrap packs. I want to use one of your scrap packs. Even though I said I wasn't going to buy fabric, I was like, it doesn't count. It doesn't count because I'm buying it for a specific project. So I bought one of her scrap packs to make it. So it has everything you need with like the stuff in back and the backing fabric to make like a pillow, or it contains wadding, backing fabric, skin fabric, and scraps of varying sizes to make that. It's to make whatever I want, whether I make it into a pillow or make it into like a tote bag or something. But aren't those fabulous colors? So I'm going to make an Eliza. with this scrap fabric. Won't that be fun? I think that'll be so much fun. I just loved her. She was so sweet. The woman, the designer behind this, Emma Schilling. Sorry, I had to look again. Emma Schilling. She was the one talking. And I was like, I really enjoyed her talking about her patterns, how she designed all these different Vive la Femme, all these different people, applique people. And I'm like, I want to go support you. She's a maker. I'm supporting her. And then I found another maker. Her name was Helen Steele. Here's her card. Helen Steele. And she does screen printed fabric. Again, fabric, but she screen prints all her fabric and is beautiful. They're smaller cuts. They're not quite fat quarters, which is hard, but she had all these beautiful strawberries. More strawberries. More strawberries. And they were like, buy 5, get 1 free. So I got all these strawberries. Wait, more strawberries. And then I was like, okay, I'll mix it up. 1 flower. I was like, okay, I'll buy 5 strawberries and then I'll get a flower for free. I loved them. I just thought they were beautiful. So I had to. I love supporting artists. Okay, so then where was the other shopping? I did a little bit more shopping. Got to move things out of my way as I talk about them. Oh, kind of a big store, not a small store, but not a store that I see around my area because it's a UK store, Japan Crafts. So we do have sashiko here in the States, but I don't get a ton of variety in my sashiko offerings here. So I stopped by the Sashiko Crafts stall and I bought myself a sashiko kit. And I know I must have been like in a strawberry kick because I got another strawberry pattern. And to go with it, I got this color pink and this variegated green. And of course, I got the sashiko needles to go with it. So I'm going to watch some videos and try some sashiko. All about the strawberries. I love strawberries. What can I say? I have a thing. I have a thing. The talk back lecture I attended, I was really excited for it because it was all about celebrating Jane Austen's 250th anniversary. It was by the head of Riley Blake Designs, and it kind of felt a little bit more like a sales pitch to a certain degree, which was a little unfortunate. But I mean, it did have a lot of valuable information as well. So it wasn't a total bust, even though I didn't love the sales pitchiness to it. But I think the person, I think she's the head of Riley Blake Designs, was just really excited. And that is important. I think you should be really excited about what you're talking about. And I did appreciate her excitement. But the Jane Austen coverlet that they had copied, and they did a lot of work to copy the pattern. And it's been available for years. I think I wanted more in-depth information on the making of that process, and they did cover that, but it wasn't as in-depth of the process as I wanted. But that's my expectation. I can't put that on them, right? Just because I wanted to know more about that doesn't mean that's what they were telling us they were going to do. They were just celebrating Jane Austen, so they celebrated her, and I'm glad. And I did get at least a little bit of information on how they did it, the behind the scenes. So I should just be happy. Trying to reframe it, because at first I was like, this was a sales pitch, but I'm like, looking back, I'm like, they're just excited. They should be excited. I mean, they put a lot of work into this. They should be talking about what they're selling, right? So trying to reframe it. It was a good talk, and they have done a lot of beautiful fabrics in celebration of Jane Austen, and I am glad of that. So I'm still on the fence whether I'm going to buy the fabric for the coverlet to make the coverlet myself. Because I'm torn, because I could recreate the Jane Austen coverlet, and it is beautiful, and I've thought about it. It's been available, and I think maybe if they talked about the coverlet more, but they were talking about other products too. I don't know. It's like this. I have other things I want to do. Do I need a Jane Austen coverlet facsimile in my home? I don't know. I'm on the fence. I might need one. I don't know. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Okay. So then I took a class, other than like stopping and like watching these like people like demonstrate things, like the person who demonstrated that, applique lady, Liz Lefemme. What was her name again? I already forgot. The Eliza person. And then like stopping and watching things like that. I took a class with Holly Ann Knight of, rock stars. Holly Ann Knight of, String and Story. My brain took a little vacation for a minute. And I was excited to take her class because I've been following her on Instagram and on YouTube and on, the social medias for years now. I'm on her her mailing list for years. I'm a rock star, as they say. And I was excited to take the actual class from her in person and meet her in person because she is delightful. And she was doing the dogwood pattern, and it was a 2-hour class at the end of the day. So like 3:30 to 5:30, it was like closing out the day, or 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, whatever it was. It was closing out the day. And it was fun. It was really a delightful class. The pattern is gorgeous. I have not ironed it, so this is all folded and wrinkled, but here's my block. My dogwood quilt block that I made in the class. It came out really great. I was excited to purchase the tools, what are these? Rulers. Losing my brain today. The ruler set to make them. So I purchased the 2 rulers so I can make more in varying sizes. You know, I don't have to do this big, large one. I can make smaller ones if I wanted. And I'm actually thinking I might use this pattern for something. And I was thinking, okay, so you know how like ideas bubble, 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 bubble. I might. So remember I was telling you about the Sarah Impey book with all the words? I was looking at this and I'm like, wouldn't this be a nice canvas? You know, all this dark blue to put words on. Like I might put words about the quilt festival on this block. I might. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about writing on this block. It's a thought that's in process right now. It was a thought I had. I'm thinking about it. It's percolating. But I'm thinking I might also use these tools and this quilt block for something else that I purchased. Other fabrics that I purchased. Could be good. Okay. So I think that's everything from the Festival of Quilts. 2 days. That's all we got. We got 2 days and then boom, on the road. Okay. So before we left Birmingham, England, where the Festival of Quilts was, and we went to Bath, and we were tourists, and it was wonderful, and there was shopping. There's always shopping. There's always shopping. So now I'm going to look and tell you before I get to Liberty, because I know you want to see the Liberty stuff. Before I get to Liberty, what can I show you? So some of the touring we did, we went to what palace? The palace from where, do I have a bag for it? Here it is. It is, nope, that's Highclere Castle. Where's the other one? The palace from where Winston Churchill was born. Blenheim, Blindhill, Blaha, starts with a B and ends in palace. I will write it on the screen because I have said it wrong multiple times. Oh, I have it in my notes. And it is Blenheim. Blenheim, Blenheim. Blenheim Palace. On the way to Blenheim Palace, we stopped in Stratford-upon-Avon, also known as the place of Shakespeare, Shakespeare's home. And we did some walking around and some touristy things, and it was lovely. And I picked up some like Shakespeare-y things. I got like another pin. Here's one. I got another pin for my my thing up here, little Shakespeare badge, pin badge for my board. So I thought that'd be cute. And some stuff for my husband because, you know, my husband's a writer. So I got him some Shakespeare pencils. And we walked around and we saw this large group of women all in red. I'll try to put some video or some pictures. And they were getting ready it was Kate Bush Day. It was hilarious. I wanted to watch them dance, but unfortunately they were dancing at noon and our bus was leaving at noon. I was hoping we could like watch their rehearsal, but we really didn't have time. We had to go catch our bus. So I just got some pictures or videos of them warming up, and that was it. But I thought that was great. Kate Bush Day, and they were all going to be doing their Wuthering Heights dance, which look up the video. Hilarious. So that was a fun little distraction in Stratford-upon-Avon. And then Blenheim Palace. I was not expecting to find anything in Blenheim Palace. It's, you know, the home of Winston Churchill. It's where he was born. And there's a lot of other fancy schmancy people at the palace. And I happened upon, in the gift shop, something I've been wanting for a very long time. And that is a Harris Tweed bag. I told myself if I found a Harris Tweed bag that I fell in love with, I would purchase it. I found it there. Would you like to see it? This is my Harris Tweed bag that I found at Blenheim, whatever, Palace. Now, I know you should get a Harris tweed bag in Scotland, not in England, but I haven't been to Scotland yet. I don't know when I'm going to Scotland, but I don't make bags with leather, so I'm not going to make this myself. And it's gorgeous. It's beautiful detailing. It's just got the sweetest. Oh, I got stuff in there. What have I got in there? Oh, I got more stuff I can show you later. Haha, that's good. Got some receipts and stuff in there too. Always good. It's just such a sweet bag. It's got just the right amount of pockets. It fits really nicely. I actually wore it when we went to a different castle later. So I have it, set. I'll include a picture of myself later wearing it in another day or two, if you will. And it's a lovely bag. I wasn't expecting to find it there, of all places, but it was on my list of things that I was cleared for purchase. And my mother-in-law, who loves bags, like that is one of her passions, is bag shopping. She had given me money for the trip, and she said, make sure you treat yourself to something special on this trip. And I thought that was the perfect thing to treat myself to, because she loves bags, and I thought, if anyone was ever going to buy me a bag, she loves buying bags. She loves buying me bags. She has bought me some of my favorite purses. And lately, she's always like, can I buy you a purse? Do you want to go purse shopping? And I'm always like, no, I make my own purses. Why would I? You don't need to take me purse shopping. I buy my own purses. And here's an opportunity for her to buy me a purse. I mean, she couldn't be with me, but she was buying me a purse. And I thought she would get a kick out of that because it's something she loves to do. And here was one that I loved. And so I sent her a picture, and she was very happy. She was like, oh, that's gorgeous. So kind of like two birds with one stone. So I bought that at Blenheim Palace, which who knew? So Stratford-upon-Avon, Blenheim Palace. Finally, we get to Bath. We had a lovely time in Bath, and we did like a lot of sightseeing, tootling around, and we some really delicious food in Bath also, like really delicious food. The people I was with, we saw the American Museum, which I was kind of like, why are we going to an American museum? We're Americans. We see plenty of American stuff in America, but it was still a lovely day. A little drizzly rainy, but a lovely day nonetheless. And then we took a tour out to Highclere Castle. Not everyone, but most of us got on the bus and went out to Highclere Castle. And I wore my new bag, and I'll include pictures. Highclere Castle, if you don't know, is where they filmed Downton Abbey. And that's why I was interested in going. But, touring around the house, it was weird because people live there. Like, that's bizarre. But also, it looked like Downton Abbey. Like, this was the library, and this was the study, and this was the dining room, and oh my gosh, the red bedroom. And so that was, and then in the middle of that, you're walking by family photos, and I was like, oh my gosh, people really live here. This is so bizarre to me. No photos in the house at all, which is fine. I don't need to take photos in anyone's house. I respect that. I respect their choice, like, of course. But then downstairs, because like their grandfather or great grandfather or whatever ancestor had been the person to finance the uncovering of the what's it called? Tutankhamun, King Tut. Like, that is down in the basement. So like the tomb of King Tut was bankrolled by this family that lives in Highclere Castle. And also apparently the paperwork for, the charter, whatever paperwork was all done for Canada. So like Canada was founded by these people. Like that's the kind of castle I'm in. Like, okay, so y'all started Canada and found King Tut. Okay, interesting castle to be in right now. We need to think about like how things happen. Obviously, the real King Tut is back in Egypt, as it should be, but they've done like a replica, and that is there in the basement. So they have like this whole Egyptology display in their basement. So it was like a fascinating, and there are some real Egyptian artifacts as well. But like the mummy, King Tut himself, is back in Egypt, rightfully so. So, but it was just a fascinating place to be. And at Highclere Castle, I'm like, well, what do you buy at Highclere Castle? So all I bought was like a spoon, because my favorite thing of Downton Abbey was the cooks in the kitchen, threatening to hit each other with a spoon. And then I happened upon this cup. I'm going to unwrap it right now. And I'm like, I know it has nothing to do with Highclere Castle, but I really like that cup. I'll show you. So let me unwrap it. It's just a really beautiful tin cup. Just an aluminum cup that I thought was really pretty. It's a tumbler that I thought was really lovely. It doesn't say Highclere Castle or anything. I probably could have bought it anywhere, but I really, really liked it. And I thought, why not? Why not at the gift shop? Because these people, it costs a lot of money to keep a castle. You know, they got turrets to fix. This is how they make money. On tourists like me paying to come in and walk around the grounds and buy things at the gift shop. Is that crazy? What a world. What a world. As I was walking around, all I kept thinking of was the TV show Ghosts, when they have to keep renting out the house to like movie crews and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, because it's really expensive to live in a crazy old house. So you have to like let strangers into your home to pay the bills. Like, it's so crazy. Anyways, I got a cup. I like it. It's a cup and I like it. I don't know. I might put pencils in it. I might drink water out of it. I don't know, but I like it. So then back to Bath after Highclere Castle for another delicious meal. We ate at Sally Lunn's, which is the oldest house in Bath. And really delicious food. OMG. So good. So good. And then one of the other friends I made in the group and I went and did like the evening tour of the Roman baths. And in the gift shop again, I'm like, I have to get something at the gift shop to remember the Roman baths. So I just got like this keychain that I thought was really cool. So, you know, the Roman baths in Bath. So that's, you know, what's his butt on the big seal? What's his name again? You know, the big meanie on the seal on the door. I can't remember his name. I can't remember anything. Oh, the Gorgon. The Gorgon. That's what he is. It says on the tag. Key fob Gorgon. Big meanie on the door that says, we're in charge now. Ha 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 ha. You heathens. So, before we left Bath, the next morning, we're about to drive to London. And the tour host said, so there's a store on the outside of town, like on like the suburbs of town, if you will, outside the city center, about 3 minutes drive, that is very popular. Would anyone like to go? It's called Hobbycraft. And all of us shot our hands up because we've all heard of Hobbycraft. It's like the British equivalent of Michael's. So we're like, yes, please. We would love to go to Hobbycraft. So here at like 9 a.m. on Monday morning, this tour bus shows up to Hobbycraft. I thought that was hilarious. I'm sure everyone in the store was like, what? These crazy Americans are, what are they doing? I walked straight to the magazine aisle because British magazines are not like what we have here in the States. And I got myself 3 good magazines. I got, let's see, Today's Quilter. And it comes with paper pieced for this basket right here with these veggies. Look at that. Foundation paper piecing for that. Come on, so cute. I haven't even read the magazines yet. They haven't been opened. So I wanted to show everything before I opened anything. Okay, this one is called Love Quilting. And it comes with cards. So the thing, all the magazines come with stuff. I love it. It comes with these color cards. I thought, why not? And that looked really cute. I liked the pictures on the back too. I'm like, ah, so cute. So cute. I had to get that. And then I got a sewing magazine that came with 2 patterns. 2 dress patterns in there. So I'm like, yes, the utility dress. Who doesn't need a utility dress? I figured that might be a good basic. Look at that pattern. It looks like a very good basic. It might be like just a good dressing gown kind of pattern to work from. And the one under that looks like, oh, what is it? I can't tell yet. I think I kind of saw it in the other, when I was playing it, like when I was trying to see, I haven't opened these yet. But it looked like a very basic dress that would be good for like a skill builder kind of thing. Advanced beginner. It looked, oh, what is it? It looked like something kind of basic, but also trying to get behind it. I can't see it right now. I'll have to open them. But yeah, I got 3 magazines. One of the women in my party, one I didn't care for very much, she saw that I had grabbed the magazine. She's like, where did you get that? And I'm like, I went to the magazines first because I know what I'm doing. And then she was like, can I have it? I'm like, no, I'm getting it. I didn't care for her very much. She was nasty. Most of the people in the group were great, but there was 1 or 2 kind of nasties in the group. And I was like, that one's mine, lady. So after we got through Hobbycraft, oh, I didn't show you what else. After I got my magazines, I walked around because I was like, magazines done. That was like 5 minutes. I grabbed magazines. I still had like 25 minutes because we were at Hobbycraft for half an hour, right? I walk back. I'm like, they have sewing machines. Well, let me go look what they have. They have like Hobbycraft brand sewing machines. I'm like, good for Hobbycraft. They've got it going on. Michael's doesn't have Michael's brand sewing machines. They have not partnered with anyone here in the States. So I walk back to the sewing machine aisle and I'm like, what the hell is happening over here? And my eye catches something. The Angels Sang. It was on sale. It was marked down from 80 pounds to 55 pounds. Now, 55 pounds is like $80. Okay. So it was marked down. So it had been 80 pounds and now it was basically $80 because it was marked down to 55 pounds, roughly. I'm not doing the math right now, but let's say roughly. So, and it was a sewing machine sewing machine luggage. And I needed luggage. I knew that when I got to London, I would be looking for luggage because I was buying things and I came over with very full luggage. Like my suitcase was extra packed. I packed way too much stuff to begin with. I did not leave room in my suitcase to buy things. And here I was buying things, not a lot of things, not a ton of things yet, but I was buying things and we had not even gotten to Liberty of London yet. Here I was purchasing items. So I'd already said, I'm like, I'm flying business class. I'm allowed another piece of luggage. Like, I know I can buy another piece of luggage. I should have packed like a duffel bag inside my suitcase. I did not plan well enough. I packed too late. I didn't think it. I thought I was very organized. Obviously, I wasn't as organized as I thought I was. I'm going to have to buy something. I'll try to find like something cheap. I even knew there was an IKEA. I'm like, I'll just buy a cheap IKEA bag, zip up kind, and fly home with it. Like, I wasn't stressing out about it. I'll take care of it when I get to London. But then here I was in Hobbycraft, not expecting to find this beautiful piece of luggage of something I wanted, because I've been looking at sewing machine caddies, like pieces of luggage, sewing machine caddies to take my sewing machine to stores, like when if I have to get it fixed, but B, when I want to go for classes, because that's the biggest thing. I've taken a couple of classes and taking my sewing machine to classes is such a pain because it's so heavy. And it's like, I hate doing it, but it's been one of the things holding me back from taking more classes is not having a cart that's convenient to take. And sewing machine caddies can run like $200, $300. And here's one for like $80. And it's luggage that will get my items home. You want to see it? It's luggage. It's legitimately luggage. It has zippers and everything. It is literally a piece of luggage that has everything I needed. It was going to get my items home, but yet it was something I could put my sewing machine in. I actually put a sewing machine roughly the same size as my machine that I would take to classes in it and walked around the store with it because it has like the little handle. I was thrilled. It was like perfect. It was absolutely perfect. I had hit the jackpot right there in Hobbycraft. Not what I expected to find when I walked into Hobbycraft at 9 a.m, but I was thrilled. It was perfect. Like I said, the angels sang. So I bought it, obviously. And it made getting home a lot easier. It made packing up to get home a lot easier. So we went to London. On the way, we passed the Stonehenge. So we just did a drive-by. I'll put pictures of my drive-by Stonehenge. And we stopped in the town of Salisbury to eat lunch. That's the only time it really rained on us the entire time. So I don't have pictures of Salisbury because it was raining and I wasn't taking pictures. Had a lovely lunch at Weatherspoons, which is like the equivalent of like Ruby Tuesdays or a TGI Fridays or a Red Robin or whatever, those like fast casual restaurants we have here in the States that are just nostalgic and comforting. And it was perfect. It was so easy and still, fun and easy. That's it. And then we got to London a little later because of traffic, probably like 5 o'clock. We put our stuff in our rooms and then as a group, we congregated in the lobby. I think 11 of us ended up going out for dinner that night. We walked down the street and we came upon Gordon Ramsay's Bread Street. Now, another delicious meal, absolutely delicious. 11 of us obviously split up into a couple of different tables and I had another delightful time at my table. I really just lucked out with people and food on this trip. I think there was like one or two disappointing bites, along the way, but most of my time was just excellent. And then the next day was Liberty of London. Finally, we're here. So we did like a little motor tour in the morning. We went on the tour bus and we had a tour guide talking us through, walking around. And, we drove somewhere, walked around, drove somewhere, walked around. Blah, blah, blah. London, London, London. Let's get to the good stuff. We've done it. We've seen it. We love it. St. Paul's Church, Buckingham Palace, la, la, la. All great. Good stuff. We love it. And then we get to the Victoria and Albert Museum. Excellent. Love it. I never found the William Morris exhibit. Like I kept looking and I kept getting lost. The Victoria and Albert is huge and you need more than 2 hours to eat lunch and walk around. And we got there and we were starving. So it's like we started with lunch. And we'd been promised like it's perfect for a tea room and it's awesome. And like we got there, I'm like, this is not exactly what I expected as far as a tea room goes, but it was fine. It was nice. It was lovely. I had lunch, but I never got like the tea room experience I thought I was getting, because what I was told was not what I got. But it's fine. I'm not mad. I'm not mad that I never got high tea, even though I kept getting promised that, oh, you can have tea here, you can have tea there. Tea is multiple things to multiple people. I never got what I thought I was getting, and I kind of regret not getting that. I never got the tiers. I never had the opportunity to go somewhere and get like the tiers of cakes. I'm like, all I want is one cucumber sandwich. Who's going to give me a cucumber sandwich? And then I'm like, you know what? I can make my own damn cucumber sandwich. It's fine. It's fine. But the Victoria and Albert was still a lovely museum. I still picked up in the gift shop, even though I never found the William Morris exhibit. I don't need to. It's fine. I still picked up these William Morris stamp set because I just thought that was really cool. I would love to do my own stamps with the motifs. And I think it kind of goes with my India block stuff, right? And this beautiful little pattern book, William Morris pattern book, because I just really love the William Morris designs. I just thought that was just a beautiful little book to have. And the V&A Museum was beautiful. I wish I could have spent more time there, but we only had 2 hours and Liberty was calling. So it's time to get on the bus and go to Liberty. And my mood improved greatly by the time I got to Liberty. So are you ready? So we got there straight up to the 4th floor because I knew what I was looking for. I knew I was looking for fabric. First of all the fabric, when they cut it, they put it in these beautiful little bags, which I appreciate. So I will be unwrapping each and every print of fabric to show you. The first print I got was on the sales rack. I did not get very many from the sales room. I only got one from the sales room, but I really, really enjoy it. And I think I'm going to be making either a shirt or a dress. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. I probably won't make anything right it's not going to be the first minute I get home from this fabric, but it will be an article of clothing. I just think that's beautiful. I love the colors. I know I don't wear a ton of yellow because yellow and I are not the best of friends, but I love it. I love it. I love the black. I love the purple. I love everything about it. And it just makes me really happy. It makes me really, really, really happy. All the flowers. It's just so beautiful, and it's so soft. I mean, of course it's soft. It's Tanalon. It's Liberty Tanalon. Of course it's soft. It's just so bold and vibrant. Beautiful. Okay. So that's the first one. And I think I got, how much of the fabric did I get? I finished the bolt, and I think there was 2.5 meters on the bolt because it was on the sales rack. I think I just finished. I believe I finished the bolt on that one. All right. The next fabrics I'm going to show you, I had seen online. I knew they existed, and I have decided I want to use them in a quilt. I have not chosen the pattern. I'm toying with the idea. It might be the dogwood pattern because I just like the simplicity of it, but I'm not committed to that. I might do like what are they called? The stars. Sawtooth stars. Just like basic big old stars. I might do wonky stars. That might be fun. I haven't decided exactly what I'm gonna do with them. I might just look in one of my books of 3-yard cuts because I got 3 main fabrics and then 1 fabric for the backing. So let's start with the backing because that's on top. And it's pretty. So it looks like the building, this is what Liberty looks like. This is what the building of Liberty looks like. And then it's flowers and it's just black and white. Okay. So that's black and white. So this time with the rainbow flowers, the building of Liberty, but again, with rainbow flowers. Again, that one will be for one of the fronts. This is all part of the 150th anniversary collection. It's like Piccadilly Circus kind of fabric. Just so wild, colorful and vibrant. And the last one, so British, right? So it's like the Union Jack, but with flowers. So I thought all of those just look beautiful together. Can you see? How do I show you those three together? Oh. See, I mean, it's a lot of color and a lot of movement. So I was like, they probably need to be a big kind of pattern. That's why I was thinking maybe this. Remember this dogwood pattern I showed you? Because I could do 2 at a time, right? So 2 patterns in each block, and then each block would be alternating which 2 fabrics get used, right? So that's one idea. And then it mixes what happened on my trip. Liberty and Dogwood both happened on the same trip. That's what I'm thinking. And there's a lot of movement in all of this fabric. So there's not as much, there's a lot of play. My biggest concern is how much movement there is in this. Is it going to be messed up with all the cutting in the Dogwood? Because it's like that, the way it moves through, I'm wondering if it's going to look weird in the Dogwood cut. It might be fine. It might not matter. But that's just what I'm thinking. And I loved it. I loved everything about it. Everything looks bigger on TV. You know, like when you watch people go on these tours and you watch the history behind places. Everything looks bigger. What else did I get? I also got, is that all you got? No, that's not all I got. I also got myself a little tape measure because Strawberry Thief is my favorite William Morris print. And the Strawberry Thief was in the perfect placement because look, he's right on the button. How can you not get the perfectly placed Strawberry Thief when the Strawberry Thief is on the button? You have to get the tape measure. Did I need another tape measure? Why not? Can't you always use another tape measure? I feel like you can always use another tape measure. And then I got a jelly roll. These beautiful blues. Of course, there's some Strawberry Thief in it. And I just thought they were beautiful. And when I got back, I came home. So Wednesday was the day we were flying. So this was Tuesday when I was at Liberty. And then Wednesday, I'll talk about it in a minute, but I got an email on Wednesday for my secret my secret quilt along. So for August, I'm getting a clue every Wednesday. And the first clue on Wednesday, the quilt for the secret quilt along, the first clue included that the quilt requires 1 jelly roll. And I'm like, I just bought a jelly roll yesterday. So I'm going to go through my stuff and I might use my brand new jelly roll on my secret quilt this month. Because I just bought a jelly roll. And then the very next day, the secret quilt of August requires a jelly roll. Dun, dun, dun. Not like I don't have other jelly rolls, but I'm just saying, maybe. And then, of course, I got myself a pincushion. And I got the one that is shaped like Liberty. Because why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I get the Liberty-shaped pincushion? Because can you ever have too many pincushions? No, you cannot. Then after Liberty, most of the people went back on the bus. Shannon and I did not want to go back on the bus. We wanted to walk around town and we just thought, well, we'll take the tube back and back to the hotel. And so Bev was kind enough to take my shopping bag with her. Look at this gorgeous bag. I think I have to keep the bag forever. This is my shopping bag from Liberty. Isn't it gorgeous? Even the shopping bag is gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's just a gorgeous shopping bag. So Bev took my shopping bag full of goodies back to the hotel for me. And then Shannon and I walked around and we ate dinner and we went to Fortnum and Mason and we each got tea. I got black tea with strawberry. I told you there's a strawberry theme. Strawberry Thief, strawberry fabric, strawberry, what's it called when I want to do my sewing? What's it called? Strawberry, I already forgot. What's it called? Strawberry, what's the sewing called? Oh my gosh. Sashiko. Oh, I lost the word. Strawberry Sashiko. I'm a strawberry girl. And strawberry tea. Because there's a strawberry theme. Everywhere you go, I'm all about the strawberries. See, if someone made a strawberry quilt pattern, now I have to look. There's probably a strawberry quilt pattern out there. I'm gonna have to make a strawberry quilt. Anyways, then we took the tube and we took the tube back and walked. So there was a lot of walking. Oh my gosh, so good. Last day of the trip, Wednesday, I had a free day. I ended up going to see Faulty Towers and doing some shopping for my family, trying to find those last minute gifts. It was a lovely day. I just had a great time. England was very good to me. England was very, 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 very good to me. I had a fantastic time. The people I met were wonderful. Big shout out to Bev, to Shannon, to Penny, to Phil, to Peg, to Mary, to Wendy, to everyone on the trip, to Anna, to just everyone was lovely. I had a fantastic time and I have no regrets. I would do it again to just be out there and put myself out there, meet new people, try new things. I think I have to get the Gordon Ramsay recipe for sticky toffee pudding because that's delicious and I might need to have more of that in my life. I will try to edit this down because as I'm recording it, it's already an hour and 20 minutes. I apologize for this being long, but also not really because I had a fantastic time and it's my birthday. So I think I need to eat some breakfast. I have not had breakfast yet. But now that I've shown you everything that I bought, I can start using it. Because I did not want to start cutting into anything or using anything until it had been shown off. And now that it has been shown off, I can use it. If you have ideas about quilt patterns for my fabulous Liberty fabrics, I would love to hear them. I just think it would be fun to incorporate the dogwood quilt pattern with my fabrics. But if you think, oh no, don't do it, don't do it. If you think that that's like a glaring stop sign shining in front of you and you want to tell me why, I'll listen to you. But right now I'm thinking maybe that's the way to go because it combines two aspects of like a really fantastic trip. But I don't know. I do not know. I will not know until I get going, I guess. But I've got a lot of cleaning up to do because now that I've unpacked everything, I have to repack things. And yeah, and I might see if I can find some contrasting fabric for my jelly roll now that I can open it up and really look at all the fabrics in it. Because I haven't even opened up. Oh, I've opened up my jelly roll to see all the fabrics because I need some contrasting fabrics to do the surprise mystery quilt. And maybe this is what I'm using. Look at those. Aren't they pretty? Oh, this might be in a mystery quilt this month. We will see if there's enough fabric. I think I need 32 strips. We'll see if I have enough fabric here. Maybe they don't do big enough jelly rolls. We will see what we will see. Have a wonderful day. I will be here with my beautiful Liberty fabric, enjoying every moment. Here, I'm just going to drape myself in Strawberry Thief because you know I love it. Oh, I love it so much. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope you like what you saw. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Comment. Ask me a question. Tell me a story. I love conversations. Have a great day. Remember to take care of yourself because if you can't take care of yourself, it's really hard to take care of others. And it's really important to take care of others because the world's on fire and we have to find our joy. Okay? We have to find our joy. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Be the helpers. Bye.
Sometimes I might be sewing, sometimes I might be gluing, sometimes I might be cutting or painting or stitching, sometimes I might not even know what I'm doing. Oh, fabric presses and stickers.